Mr. Andy Conroy, Ms. Nora King, Ms. Amy Jimenez, and Ms. Erin Folsom. The question: how do you plan to improve the image of Norwalk Public Schools and the education in Norwalk? Many people in the region do not have a high opinion of Norwalk schools. There are certainly many good things going on, but it doesn't seem that this information is filtering out to the community at large. Mr. Conroy?
I don't know if I agree with the premise of the question. We certainly can communicate better, but I see that we communicated well at this time. The website, special channel on cable, the constant articles in the newspapers. While we occasionally have a stumble and are criticized, there's an awful lot of good news that makes it into the newspapers and onto Channel 12, and certainly there are programs that we produce ourselves make it on cable vision. So no, I don't agree with the premise at all. What we can continue to do is expand the state's understanding of the importance of education in Norwalk. We've had Jody Rell down here a couple of times. I think we should get her back down here. We have an awful lot of things that we've done exceedingly well. And she loved it when she went to Brookside and saw the technology program that was implemented. That program wasn't implemented because a Republican put it in or a Democrat put it in, but because we put it in. And it has worked exceptionally well now for a number of years. So I just don't agree with it. So I'll pass on trying to say that we're so bad that we've got to fix it.
So part of the premise that you disagree with is that we do not, that other people outside of the region do not have a negative opinion of the Norwalk school.
I really haven't seen or heard a constant diatribe against Norwalk. I know that there are people here that believe that there is that, but I haven't encouraged it or run into it. I go to Greenwich, I go to Hartford, I go up to Milford. Nobody's telling me how bad Norwalk is. It just doesn't occur. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, I actually have to agree with that statement from Andy because I've spent a lot of time door knocking, a lot of time getting to know people in my community. I'm a real estate appraiser. So I do feel like there is an image problem with the Norwalk schools. I love Norwalk. I love being here. I want to send my son to the school system. But I think there are things you can do to make it better. I mean, as a marketing professional, there are simple things that you can do that are very basic, like PR campaigns. You can work with teachers and students, and perhaps students can get out there and talk about why they love their school and what they're getting out of their education or learning. And they can do it through mediums that they pay so much attention to, like Twitter. They can go out and tweet with their friends, and they can go on Facebook, and they can go out on their blogs. And I think there are some wonderful tools that are out there right now that people are taking advantage of, like Norwalk.net. I think the parents associations do a wonderful job of sharing information and rallying around this cause. I mean, the fact that this forum is here tonight is because parents want communication. They want more. They want more for their children. They want more for their schools. And I think there's so many wonderful ways to communicate today besides just the newspaper, and those are different types of mediums. And, you know, I think an image campaign would probably be a great thing. I do know about the Joint Services Committee and the fact that the mayor does meet with the Board of Education on a regular basis. What I don't see is the communication out to the parents and to the taxpayers. As one myself, I don't see it. And the website for Norwalk is not great. I went out to look for some budget stuff for the Board of Education and had to call a member to have the budget brought over to me because I could not find the information on the Norwalk website. And I'm very astute with the computer. My husband is a computer technician. He couldn't find it himself. So I do think those type of things are simple and they can also be done. And I would like to address some of the grant issues, if I can have 1 second, or can I not do that the mayor was talking about?
We do need to move on.
Okay, that's fine. That's why I asked. All right, thank you.
Amy Jimenez?
Thank you. I agree with the other two speakers. I think that Norwalk is harder on itself than our neighbors are. And I heard that in the community conversations on Saturday. And that troubles me, frankly. I think we've got a long way to go in terms of understanding all of the strengths that we do have. Some of them, for instance, are programs like the Japanese program, which is offered at elementary level, on up into buildings like this at the middle school level. And then we have this tremendous opportunity where with the Global Studies magnet at McMahon. We have an extraordinary array of AP classes, for instance, unlike our suburban neighbors. We've got tremendous art programs. We have tremendous music programs, something that we are well known for. And we have opportunities for children who are interested in whatever avenue that might be. And I think that's a real strength, and I don't know that we celebrate it enough. I think we have an opportunity, however, coming up, and I think with the superintendent search. And I think it's an important opportunity to bring in someone who will be a better communicator. I think our prior superintendent may not have been the best communicator and may not have been the most visible leader. And that is one of the things that I will be looking for if I'm so fortunate to be able to continue on the Board of Ed, to be able to select the new superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Arrow-Paulson?
What would I plan to do to improve the image? I had the fortunate experience to sit next to someone at this forum at NCC, and we actually talked about that as far as branding the education of Norwalk. I know it's a marketing tool, but I think we need better branding for Norwalk. Something for the example of education rules, and you've got a ruler, something that's easily recognizable all over the city. You've got big companies that may want to contribute to the school but have never been asked to. You could, even restaurants or something like that, know that they contribute to the Norwalk school system. I think we also need to advertise everyone's achievements. I'm not saying because I got a B on a test, but I'm talking about little things such as the arts programs and the music programs. Every sport shows up in the hour, but you don't see an awful lot of things that these kids do. I found out from Curtis that they have these after-school programs where the kids actually write plays and then they act in them. And I think that is fabulous that they do that. I had no idea that they did that. You could extend these programs after school to include cooking or singing or writing, giving these kids an opportunity to get a break. They've been in school all day long. They need a change of scenery. Sure, they need to do their homework, but there's so much talent, untapped talent in this community, and I think that's one way that we could just get it out there, let people know that it exists. Also, we need to concentrate on trying to get this information from the kids' backpacks to their parents. There is so much paper. We're going green, we're doing this. I would love to see an online community newsletter. Have a piece in the Norwalk Hour every week, bullet pointing what we've done this week in the Board of Education, just to make everybody aware so they can say, well, I didn't know that. I want people to get excited about education. It's not a bad thing. It's a really good thing. And again, I'm very passionate about education, and being a communication major, it's really easy for everybody to talk, but it's really difficult to have people listen. So that's what I think we need to think about. Thank you.
Thank you very much.